You know, when you think about outdoor knives, there's a bunch of names out there that are always seeming to come up. You know, you've got the big names, and they're big, bold brands with flashy designs and pretty high price tags for the most part. Then there's Morakniv. Apparently, this company's been quietly building tools in Sweden for more than a century, and today I want to talk about one of their most well-loved models, the Morakniv Companion. I'm going to call it Morakniv, don't hate me. This is a stainless steel knife, and this little knife has a way of sneaking into people's kits and never leaving. You've seen it all over YouTube, and it's all over the internet, and I figured it's time to check it out. Here's what we're going to do in the next few minutes. We're going to break down why this knife is popular, why people like it, where it could potentially fall short, and whether it deserves a spot in your outdoor kit or not. Think of this less as a sales pitch and more as just us sitting around outside with nothing to do. Someone who's used the tool enough to know its quirks, myself, as well as its strengths, and really just going to start with the basics here. The Companion has a 4-inch stainless steel blade. It's made from Sandvik 12C27, which is a Swedish steel. Who knows? I don't know. Really, it's kind of known for being easy to maintain and highly resistant to rust, which I've abused this one, and it seems to be a little worse for wear, but also extremely durable for what it is. It's about 2.5 millimeters thick on the spine of it, and the blade isn't massive, but it's pretty much the perfect length and the perfect proportions for a good general purpose outdoor knife, in my opinion. The overall length's about 8 inches, 8.5 inches, somewhere in there. And the weight with its sheath is just under 5 ounces. So basically this knife strikes a nice balance between being packable and still feeling substantial in the hand. Now the handle is something worth pausing on. Morakniv has a reputation for comfortable handles, and the Companion is no exception at all. It's made from a rubberized polymer, and it has just enough texture to feel secure in your hand without feeling sticky. And since I've been using this knife, I haven't felt any stickiness to it kind of cropping up over time and over use. It feels great in your hand even during longer carving sessions. If you've ever spent hours making several feather sticks for fun, just to practice or for lighting fires, you know what a poorly designed handle can do and feel like. It could leave your hand a little bit worse for wear at the end of the day. So what about the sheath? Well, it's not fancy. It's a simple polymer. I'm getting shot at over here. It's a simple polymer piece with a belt clip. Pretty nice. It does show stress on the handle where you might find some stress points, but I have not seen that that's going to be an issue at all, and it hasn't been over the long term. The sheath really does match the knife's character. It's low maintenance, it's very practical, no nonsense. So that's the build overall. You've got a polymer sheath, pretty well. It's got a drain hole in the bottom. A little bit flexy, a little bit bendy, point of failure possible in the future, but I've not seen an issue with the sheath. The knife fits in it, pops in, clicks in, very nice, and it has a bit of a thumb release here where when it's on your belt you can actually push, and that rubberized grip really feels really nice when you pull away, pushing on that. It's just pretty solid. The way it feels like a knife should feel going in and coming out of a sheath. So that's the build. It comes in pink, which is pretty baller, in case you're looking for a gift for the lady. But how does it actually perform? You know, what are the stats? What does it feel like? What does it cut like? Let's start with carving and whittling here. A lot of people are just going to use this for general purpose carving. The important thing to note is that it has a Scandi grind on it, Scandinavian grind. It's very straightforward to sharpen. It's very easy to use with woodworking, with whittling, with making feather sticks, things like that. On that note, making feather sticks, notch cuts, carving tent stakes, it feels really good even if you're new. I've had my kids on this knife as well. Another point to mention is food prep, right? So like this knife, you know, most people are really hardcore about their survival knives, but this knife is perfect. It surprisingly holds up surprisingly well in the kitchen, you know, in the galley when you're cooking up, when you're out and about, car camping, whether you're out in the wilderness, whatever the heck you're up to. I've seen plenty of knives that feel really overbuilt in the kitchen, in the galley when you're out and about. You know, somebody busts up into there with a big Bowie knife trying to cut up your onions for food. Doesn't always go the best. This blade is perfect size and dimensions for being a great all-arounder. So all that fluff out of the way, let's get into how these knives actually perform. So people always ask, essentially, can you baton wood with it? That seems to be the standard these days of a good survival knife. The answer is absolutely yes, but with limits. The blade is not overly thick, the knife is not full tang, the steel doesn't run the entire length of the handle most of the way. It's not something you want to do for heavy batoning and hardwood batoning. I believe it comes somewhere in here. A video of at Calculated Survival literally cut it open with like a plumbing saw or something like that, just to show. I'll link to that video in the description, so you can kind of like get an idea of how far the tang goes. It goes plenty a ways for me, especially because the Companion is often called a budget bushcraft knife, and it's kind of hard to find a knife that is so well designed and built, in my opinion, that is so affordable as well. I wouldn't call this knife cheap by any stretch of the imagination. What it is not, it's not a crowbar, it's not an axe, it's not a really, really high-end, big-ass Bowie knife where you're gonna be able to process a bunch of wood, do a bunch of shit out here in the wilderness. It's not gonna be a lifelong knife for you, but it will last you many, 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 many years if you treat it properly. So something to note, it's got a really nice back spine to it, where nice and flat, hard 90-degree angles on the back, which is perfect. I would recommend roughing that up a little bit. It's got a bit of a coating on it if you're going to be using ferro rods or something like that. This knife is highly customizable given how cheap it is, but I rip it on the ferro rod all the time after just a basic, taking a little bit of a file to the back of it, and of course keeping it nice with some all the time, keeping it oiled and appropriately finished in that regard. All right, so we got to talk about edge retention and sharpening. I'll put this pink one down. It's a little bit too loud. Doesn't match the environment anyway. So it's great for regular camp use, but it doesn't compete with some of the higher end tool steels in terms of wear resistance, in my opinion. The trade-off here is that, where it does go dull a little bit quicker, bringing it back to an edge is relatively quick and simple. Just honing it for the most part, not spending too much time sharpening. I have not spent too much time sharpening this knife. Just getting it nice and honed and getting that edge worked out straight back again. Takes very little time, and I don't really ever think about it that much, except outside of my normal knife, what's the word? Prep? No, not prep. Maintenance, knife maintenance. So I think overall this knife can be highly appreciated given that it is not overbuilt. It's exceptionally good for beginners. If you have children, family that you're interested in teaching outdoor skills to. So I don't know, I'm not here to sell this knife. I just want to review it because I see it absolutely everywhere, all over the internet. And I bought a few of them. I think it's fantastic. I can't recommend it highly enough. I will add that it's $20 for this knife. Feels great, looks great, keeps an edge, easy to maintain, and highly customizable in terms of having a nice sheath that is able to, hold paracord. You can glue shit to it, whatever the hell you want. It's a fantastic starter knife. It's really nice to have if you have multiple bug out bags, if you've got, a few rigs, you just want to chuck some knives in there. And it comes in pink, so your lady or your daughter or your son, my son loves this color. I bought this because he likes it. But it's a fantastic option, and I would highly recommend checking it out. $20. There's a link below in this video if you're interested in checking it out. Hopefully this video has provided more value than wasted your time, and I'm out here in the woods just chilling and vibing on this knife. So I figured I would make a quick video on it, so hope that helped out.